as well as gentlemen. Papa Boris here with an arena run for Hearthstone. We're playing Paladin, have a pretty decent deck. It's very endgame focused. Our first game was against a fellow Paladin who had stuff in the early game and then also had a bunch of stuff in the end game. His deck was also loaded with Consecration, True Silver Champion, several Aldor Peacekeepers, and some Blessing of Wisdoms, which gave him enough cards to basically grind out the win in the face of my excellent opposition. And the second game was a Druid who basically rolled over. He tried to use the Alarmobot, and despite getting a Boulder Fist Ogre with it, which is about as good as you could hope for with Alarmobot, he ended up getting smashed. Maybe I got lucky and I didn't know it. I mean, maybe he had a Deathwing in his hand, and the Alarmobot could have given him a 12-12 at any time, and I just had no idea. But I still think Alarmobot's a bad card. He might have either had a really bad rare pick, or he might have been experimenting, as I once did with the Alarmobot, and it turned out not to really help him. That Druid on turn 2 innervated a Cult Master, then traded creatures and drew a card, but it really didn't put him at much of an advantage, because the card that he drew off of the Cult Master was essentially making up for the Innervate that he spent. I mean, when you do play Innervate, you're essentially going down a card. So because that Cult Master was very fragile and I could kill it off quite easily, he wasn't really able to get much of an advantage from his mana-ramping shenanigans. Gourd Critic! No, we're playing against a worthy opponent here. Shaman, I'm happy to see that. Rom, you lose. Sounds like he's addressing a person named Rom. The guy's like, hey, do I win? No, Rom, you lose. Okay, we're going to go ahead and just keep our removal here for control and pass back the other stuff. The Dark Iron Dwarf's twin comes back. So Consecration is a card I don't want to mulligan against Shamans because it incidentally clears out all of his totems. Wow. Well, Dust Devil is certainly a Gambit play. That's for sure. This is a 3-1 with Wind Fury with Overload 2. It's 1 mana, so it hits for 6 damage for 1 mana. It's pretty great, but you do lose your entire turn. And it's very easy to kill. Now, I happen to be a Paladin, so I can just make a Recruit, which I use my coin for, and I'll get to take care of this creature. So what my opponent basically did was he cost me my coin, and he also cost me 6 damage. At the same time, he also cost himself the ability to make a totem on turn 2 or play another 2-mana creature. Granted, if he didn't have any 2-mana creatures, it was all he lost was a totem. So the Wind Fury thing takes him down a card. He loses a totem. I get a 1-1 on the board. He's another one. What the heck? Jesus, that is not smart. Well, he was hoping to flip a taunt totem. This is like some kind of like Gambler's Den Shaman. What the Jesus? Okay, well, let's go ahead and just kill that thing. I could play the Wolf Rider and kill the Healing Totem, but I have actually grander ambitions. We're going to play this Thrallmar Farseer. So the idea with him is, he's got Wind Fury, so he attacks twice. This makes him A, really good at clearing Shaman Totems, and B, I can put this Blessing of Wisdom on him, and he'll draw me 2 cards, which is kind of spiffy. Alright, looks like I'm going to be clearing out some totems. I was really hoping it wouldn't be the 1-1, because then with the 1-1 I'm going to take damage. But that's fine. We're going to just play the Blessing of Wisdom on this. And we're going to play this, because you should always draw cards first. True Silver Champion, that's nice. And you'll go ahead and kill this other totem. Okay. So I don't want to play the Wolf Rider here, because it and the Farseer will both die to a Forked Lightning. So what I'm going to do is do this, and since Shamans cannot attack me with their hero ability, we will actually now play Noble Sacrifice with the extra leftover mana. And yeah, this is pretty ridiculous. My opponent has 6 cards to my, 7, and I've got a secret and 2 creatures on the board, so he's really far behind. The famous Wind Fury Dust Devil Gambit didn't really work for my opponent, unfortunately. Okay, the Twilight Drake is a good card, that is for sure. I should probably deal with that somehow. One way is to play Equality and just kill it. Another way, though, is to use the Dark Iron Dwarf. I can buff this. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make a bit of a ballsy play here. I'm actually gonna play Dark Iron Dwarf on that guy. And I'm actually just gonna swing for 8 damage. And the reason I'm doing this is I got this Noble Sacrifice. So unless my opponent plays a charging creature, he's actually in a heap of trouble here. Because this Twilight Drake, when it attacks, will just bite a Noble Sacrifice. And then the Dark Iron Dwarf will be able to finish it off. That is 2 for 1-ing, but there's qualitative value there as well. It's not just I'm throwing away 2 cards, but I'm getting to keep on attacking. So my opponent just really beefed up this Twilight Drake, but it doesn't actually matter because it's going to eat a Noble Sacrifice. Oh boy. And then I can kill it off with a variety of different methods. Oh my god. Does my opponent really not have a lightning bolt or anything? Nope, he does not have it. Jesus, I have so many cards. It's nuts. Stampeding Kodo kills the Flame Tongue. However, if I just attack the Flame Tongue, this will drop down and then the Stampeding Kodo will kill it. I could then... I don't have enough mana. Shoot, I don't have enough mana to play Stampeding Kodo and the Argent Protector. Okay. Well, I think what we'll do is the following. Let's just play the Argent Protector on my Dark Iron Dwarf. Use the Dark Iron Dwarf to kill that thing. And I could use Consecration here, or a True Silver Champion. I have enough health. Let's just use True Silver Champion to kill the Raid Leader. I'll attack that thing. And I know normally you're supposed to draw cards first, but I had to kill the Raid Leader to stop this thing from taking any damage. Oh my god, that... Folks, for this game alone, I think this game alone has, like, paid the price, has, like, justified the price of admission for this arena video. Like, if you've ever watched these arena videos and you're like, is it worth it to watch these games with Papa Boris? Like, this run alone, this game alone, I think, made it worthwhile, because that thing with the Blessing of Wisdom on the Thrall from Farseer, actually getting that to go off is so nuts, I can't even believe it. I think my hand's full, I'm gonna throw away a card. Is really funny. Okay. I actually would have liked the Frost Elemental too. I could have frozen this. Anyway, let's go ahead and kill this thing. And we'll play a couple of creatures, I think. We'll play the Warden. And in case of another Lightning Storm, let's play something with a lot of health, like that guy. And we'll pass the turn. Wow. Maybe that's another idea for a constructed deck. Wind Fury plus Blessing of Wisdom. You could play like the Young Dragonhawk. One of the things I was talking about on the comments with some of my videos is a new series potentially called Will It Work? It's where you try to like come up with some kind of crazy idea and see if you can make it work. And that could be one thing, like a deck where Young Dragonhawk doesn't suck. Now that deck already exists. It's the 1-turn kill combo hunter deck. But like other than like a combo deck, other than something wacky, and maybe that would actually work. Like Blessing of Wisdom on the Wind Fury creatures to draw lots of cards. He's gonna hex my 1/7. Fair enough. That thing, okay. Don't much care about any of those goings on. Well, I think this is the time for the Stampeding Kodo. So let's do that. This. Barf. And then, sure, we'll play this guy. Start swinging with my Mighty Frog. Could I have won the game? Let me think about that. Could have played this guy, got him down to 9. This would have gotten him down to 4. This would have gotten him down to 1. Oh, no, I don't have enough mana for that. That's 10 mana. Fire Elemental, that's a good card. But it's a bit too little, a bit too late. Wind Fury, okay. Oh god, this game was hilarious. Alright, do I even need to play anything else to win? Nope, so we're just gonna win with 8 cards to spare. That was a Demolition Derby. I know I've mentioned in a couple of recent videos that people seem to be playing better nowadays. I'm not getting quite as many free wins, but that was... I don't know if that was a newbie player. I suspect he was, though. He was playing with 2 of those Dust Devils. So again, that's the 3-1 with Wind Fury for a very bargain 1 mana, but that is Overload 2. Those... Okay, let me talk about that card a little bit. First of all, it's not a good card, because mages and rogues and druids pick it off trivially, and then you're down Overload 2. But number 2, and this is perhaps the more important point for those of you aspiring shaman players out there who want to actually use that Dust Devil, it is not a turn 1 play. It's not a thing you play on turn 1. It's a thing that you play in the end game when you're just paying 1 mana up front. The overload makes no difference, and your opponent, like if the thing is hiding behind a taunt or whatever, if your opponent can't kill it, then it does great things. So that's how you use it. Now maybe there are some classes where you could play Dust Devil on turn 1. Example might be like a Hunter or a Warrior, because they might not have the tools to deal with it, but not against a Paladin who can point out a recruit and just kill it when you're overloaded. Well, I'm up against a Mage. She's just getting out a 2-3. That's actually really good for her, because it means I cannot play this Wolf. So all I can do is make a recruit and pass the turn, and then watch this recruit die, either with the Bloodsail Raider, or if my opponent has a turn 2 play, which she does. Okay. You know what's really hilarious is I might actually just lose this game because my opponent's playing 2-3s for 2 mana when I've got a slow start. Okay, well, we'll play the Outdoor Peacekeeper here. I will Peacekeep the cheaper creature. So basically, I'm totally wasting this thing's potential, but the reason I'm doing it is so that I get a 3-3 on the board, and I can stop the board from going totally out of control. So Harvest Golem is a good drop for my opponent here. She probably should kill off this Peacekeeper. Although, maybe she wouldn't. I don't know, maybe she shouldn't. Maybe I'm just saying that because I know that I'm holding this Dark Iron Dwarf. Maybe this is like voluntarily 2-for-1ing yourself against a 3-3 is not the best move. Although perhaps instead of playing this Harvest Golem, she should have just used the 2-2 to kill my 2-3 with the hero ability's help. Then she would have had a 1-3 on an empty board. Instead, she has a 2-3, a 1-3, and a 2-2 versus a 3-3, which kind of trumps them all. I don't know, that's a really tough decision. It looks like my opponent is going to go for the 2-for-1, which I can't blame her for. So it leaves her with the creature and me with that one. And I got nothing to do here, unfortunately. The wolf just dies to the golem, and the Dark Iron Dwarf would have to buff the golem, whereupon it could kill the dwarf. Well, yeah, my opponent got what she was hoping for. There is nothing good for me to do other than to hero ability up. So, unfortunately, this Dark Iron Dwarf, while I do still think that's a very good card, in this particular circumstance is pretty much worse than, like, literally any other 4-drop in the game, because any other 4-drop, I could have just played it, and the Dark Iron Dwarf I couldn't play. Alright, now I'd say I'm officially behind. True Silver Champion, it's nifty, but we need to play the Fen Creeper here. We need to try to hold the fort. So mages have not 1, but 2 spells that will deal with a 3-6, which is absolutely astounding. Fireball and Polymorph will both deal with it quite nicely. Raid Leader doesn't quite do it. My opponent will have to give up part of the golem there, which I suppose is not an unfair trade. Consecration is very tempting here, for sure. The wolf is still not playable. I really want other creatures already on the board before I play the wolf. Let's actually just go ahead and do the True Silver Champion. So the idea here is, now I'm going to make a recruit. Well, hang on. I can actually play the wolf. The wolf will actually trade against creatures and does not die to the hero ability. I think we need to stem the bleeding here. So I'll actually play the wolf. Even though I'm kind of throwing the wolf away for this golem. My opponent 2-for-1'd herself earlier, so now I'm okay with 2-for-1ing myself. That seems fine. She's putting a lot more stuff on the board. That's okay for me, I think. Because the True Silver Champion kills this thing and the Consecration kills everything else. Well, it's a good thing I saw Consecration in my draft. Equality? No. I don't think I need to use that. So do I play this right now? I could. My opponent could ping off the Divine Shield and throw away these 2 junk creatures to kill it. No, I can't do that. So I wish I had a 3-drop. I don't. So it's very important about the order here. If I True Silver Champion first, I'll take an unnecessary extra point of damage. So first I'll play Consecration. This now only hits for 2 damage. Then I use that thing. And tragically, I have 3 mana and a bunch of good 4 mana cards. So my mana curve is really biting me. But I made it to the end game with 24 health against a mage. So against all odds, it turned out okay. I mean, this is still anyone's game. She could have a handful of, like, Cones of Colds and whatever and just have nothing good to play. You never know. Sunwalker isn't as great against mages as it is against other folk. Balls. Well, I think, much as I hate doing this, I'm going to just play the True Silver Champion again. Kill that. I again regret that I cannot play this Dark Iron Dwarf. My god. Can I please keep a creature on the board? Please. It's actually a little tricky for my opponent to kill both of these creatures. If she's holding like a Blizzard or a Cone of Cold, I imagine she might not want to use it against this stuff. So maybe I'll actually get to play a Dark Iron Dwarf. Please? For once? Come on. Lord of the Arena. Well. Bah. That is an irritation. Let's see. Stormwind Champion leaves me with 2 mana. I can actually... Oh my god, equality is actually really good here. Huh. Yeah, I'm going to do this. I think, even though all it's really doing is killing the Lord of the Arena, that is actually very, very good. Okay. Let's just do this. I'm going to play... I don't need this guy's protection now. Let's actually play a Mogushan Warden and a 1/1. What I'm trying to do is just put as much stuff on the board as I can. So Flame Strike's not great. It just kills some 1/1s and this thing still lives. Other stuff like Cone of Cold and Blizzard is not great either. It's just killing off 1/1s. And now I can play Stormwind Champion and actually have stuff to attack with. Or, you know, Dark Iron Dwarf and have stuff to buff. So my opponent is going to Cone of Cold. That's actually very smart. I think a lot of players wouldn't make that move. However, it is a smart move because, you know, you don't want to let Paladins keep creatures on the board. So kudos to my opponent for making the right decision. Lord of the Arena does not hold up well against this Panda, and it has Taunt, so comically enough, it actually will just die to, will be targetable by this. The Sunwalker is not great either because my opponent can just ping off the Divine Shield. It also has Taunt, and then this Panda can trade into it, so that doesn't seem great at all. I think now's the time to make a recruit and drop the Stormwind Champion. So the hope is that if this Stormwind Champion lives, I can play Dark Iron Dwarf on this 2/2 and use it to kill off the 4/4. My opponent also has a Stormwind Champion of her own. My plan still works. I can still play Dark Iron Dwarf and then kill off this Panda. My opponent's going to ping me. I think it's a bit of a misplay. I think you should always ping your opponent's creatures, because my health total is high enough this isn't even going to matter. Now, here, interestingly, I don't need to use the Dark Iron Dwarf who's been sitting in my hand all game. I can actually use the Raid Leader. Does that make a difference? I don't think it actually does. It doesn't let me play anything extra either. Yeah, we'll just go for this. Well, I don't want to extend against Flame Strike too much, but I think I should be alright. So we're going to do this, that, the other thing, and I'm going to make a ballsy play. I'm going to play Lord of the Arena. I'm going to swing for 6 damage. So this is a really giant board here. Of course, I'm up against a mage who could always deal with it very easily in a number of ways, but the idea that I'm having here is to try to keep above Flame Strike. So notice here what happens. Even after Flame Strike, all my stuff just lived, and my Lord of the Arena killed off the his Stormwind Champion. So my Stormwind Champion's alive. Had my opponent pinged this Stormwind Champion last turn, by the way, it would be at 1 health and it would be on death's door right now. She didn't choose to do that, and notice how much she's paying for it. Now what I could do is a really funny thing. I could actually suck up that Divine Shield right away. I'm going to do that, you know what? I didn't even actually think about that at the start of the turn. I'm totally going to do that though, because this Divine Shield is just going to get pinged off for 2 mana. My opponent has very few cards. 2 mana is pretty much irrelevant. So let's just get as big of a creature as we can. And yeah, that's great. I never would have thought that the Sunwalker's Divine Shield would ever be the correct thing to suck away with the Blood Knight, but it was totally the correct thing. So notice my opponent made a slight misplay earlier. She Fire Blasted me instead of the Stormwind Champion. Had she Fire Blasted the Stormwind Champion, she could at least kill the Stormwind Champion right now. It's possible, though, that with my 4/5 and 6/6, I still would have won the game. But she did have 3 cards, and who knows what they were. Okay, that was a really good game. I'm actually really happy to win against a mage. That is just such an important moral victory for me, because if you've been watching on this channel, there was one particularly grievous run where I was fine except for mages, and I saw a lot of mages. 3 of them, to be precise. That is, as many as you can see before being bad against mages puts a terminal end to your arena ambitions. Alright, well, what are we up to? 3 wins? It's been a pretty good deck. It's been performing well. But then again, you know, we're still only early in the arena, so the really tough opponents might not be coming, knocking on our door just yet. Let's see who we're up against here. A hunter? Well, this makes me glad I've got that Justice guy in my deck. Well, I'm sad to pass back the Kodo, but I will keep Truce over Champion. This just, on turn 4, this just catches you up against so many bad starts. we have a bit of a weird start here. I might have to... Well, let's take a look at what he does if he has anything for turn 1. Okay. So I might just try to make this recruit on turn 2. Put a Blessing of Shield. Like that Paladin did against me. Well, there's a card. I could Aldor Peacekeeper this down to a 1/2. You know what? I'm actually going to do that. Now you might think, Boris, that's crazy. What about, later in the game? Good option now is better than the best option later. This allows me to basically hold the fort in the opening, and that's like the weakest part of my game is the opening. So, if I can hold on in the opening, I figure in the late game I should be totally fine. So on my next turn, I could maybe like put a Divine Shield on this, attack, and with like a Blessing of Wisdom, draw a card. That'd be cool. I'd dig it. I dig it like I twig it. Maybe he's got a deadly shot and he's wondering, is it worth it to kill the 3/3 with my premier removal spell, or should I save it for later? Probably good to use it now. Oh no, he's gonna do that. Interesting. Well, that actually is extremely unimportant to me because I don't care what the power of this creature is because it's getting Divine Shielded. Let's think. I could kill this Master Swordsmith, but I'd rather just kill the thing that actually kills my 2/2. So let's put a Blessing of Wisdom on this. I had a mana left over, so this card didn't cost me anything. It's at the very least going to cycle. And it may even do more than that. Now, of course, you all know what's coming here, and that is multi-shot. But I don't really mind because this got to kill a creature without dying. So multi-shot's not really doing that much. It's taking up my opponent's entire turn. And my opponent does not actually have the multi-shot. He has just the kill command. That is fine by mine. And so basically, he still spent his whole turn. That was a very smart move, actually. Oh, that was really smart. Because basically, if he had left this alone, I could have played Dark Iron Dwarf, buffed this guy, killed this thing, and now I can still buff it up, but then they just trade, so the Dark Iron Dwarf's not doing much. I could do True Silver Champion. I'd actually rather just put the 4/4 on the board. Man! You know what? Screw it. I'm just going to attack. 4 damage is a lot of damage, and I really think this is going to happen. I can't think of that many things a hunter would do that would, be other than do this trade. We'll see, though. Maybe I'm wrong. Man, that was such a good move, running the 1/3 into the 2/1. I'm impressed. Dark Iron Dwarves haven't been good for me in these games. Do I need to lower my opinion of that card? I keep getting, not just it's good against me, I keep getting blown the hell out by it. So I wonder why it's just not quite as good for me. It might just have to do with the decks that I'm building. There's a starting Buzzard, so let's see what beast is coming online now. Direwolf Alpha, okay. Fair enough. Does he have a Jank Beast? He has Unleash the Hounds. Yikes. Wow, that was pretty good. So the trade still happened. So that didn't change anything. Okay. Well, I could make a Dalaran Mage and a Recruit, but let's just do this. Kill the wolf. So what's going on? I've got a weapon and 5 cards. My opponent has 4 cards. I've got the cards. My opponent has the play. I've got really good stuff coming down, though. Frost Elemental can freeze whatever he do. True Silver Champion can, if he plays little stuff, True Silver Champion can kill it. That actually might be one of the best things he could have played. Because I can't kill it with True Silver Champion. And, yeah. So the Kodo would kill the Engineer. I don't care about that over much. Let's just go ahead and drop the biggest thing I've got. Pass the turn. Frost Elemental will then kill off this engine, barring, of course, any deadly shots. But even if my opponent has deadly shot, I can always play this Justice and then restore 6 health. 1 health would be wasted, but a 5/6 is actually good stats. I mean, for 7 mana, you should really get more than 5/6. Consider the Boulder Fist Ogre. It's a 6/7 for 6 mana, so it's 1 mana less and has 2 more total stats. But still, objectively speaking, 5/6 is fine. So then it will also kill off this engine. Azure Drake is a good card. My opponent does need to deal with this, though, or else he's in trouble. Is he just going to steady shot me? Well, my opponent's going to fall behind here, unfortunately for him. The reason for that being, the Frost Elemental kills this engine. That allows me now to kill the Azure Drake with the True Silver Champion. But first, let's just play this. Get a nice 6/3 for 2 mana. That's a bargain. We'll kill the Azure Drake, and I think here I'll just play the Kodo, wipe his board. With 5 cards, I don't think the opponent can deal 20 damage to me. They'd have to be some pretty ridiculous cards. And then I've got Justice coming up for 6 mana. Alright, multi-shot whiffs on my 6/3. Does he have another multi-shot? That would be really funny if he had another multi-shot. This guy's called the Guardian of Kings, but when you play him, he says, Justice. And it's really, really cool, and I like that a lot better than I like his actual name. I think here we'll just play Stormwind Champion. We'll hang on to Justice. Because I have Noble Sacrifice, so that is protecting me against any kind of shenanigans. I might not even need the Justice. This game, I've got 17 damage on the board. My opponent's got to have some pretty phenomenal shazatsicles here in order to hang on in there. I want to play Justice just to hear that voice. There's such good voice acting in this game. I really love it. Okay, it's time. Wait, can I win? Because if I can actually win, I will actually prefer to win. Let's take a look. If I play Equality, that would actually allow the Kodo, my weakest hitting creature, to kill that thing. Then I have 6 + 7 is 13 damage, 15 damage. Oh, man. Well, I really want to play Justice, but I think it's actually more important to win. So we'll do this, that, and the other thing. For the win. Well played. Oakwood the Hunter goes down. That was a pretty resounding win as well. And I gotta give myself some props. I think some players wouldn't have played the Eldor Peacekeeper against a Humble Fairy Dragon, but it was absolutely the right move. Because given how much late game beef Aruni the deck has, it's just important that I throw everything in my opponent's way to try to hold steady in the opening, because if we can get into the mid game and I'm like a little bit down, but the board is relatively under control, I'll be fine. Now that I look back, I'm actually really happy that I beat that mage, because she had a 2-3 on turn 1 and a 2-3 on turn 2, and I managed to hang in there. Again, it was with actually another kind of liberal use of the Eldor Peacekeeper, so maybe that is a lesson from this arena. Use your Eldor Peacekeepers when they're good. A good option now is better than the best option later. Well, the Frostwolf Order, there's no particular reason to keep him in my hand, so we'll just pass it back. This stuff's obviously fine. It's a bit sad playing against a mage, because the Argent Protector is a lot less good against mages. Because basically, I mean, him, you can, like, you know, make a recruit, and then peacekeep the recruit, and I'll turn it into, basically it turns your recruit into an Argent Squire, which is totally fine. But against mages, he doesn't really do that, because the recruits just die to the hero ability. Blah. Mana Worm. Well, I don't want to just send this thing out to die. I mean, wasting his battle cry is bad enough. What we're probably going to do next, what we're probably going to do is I'm going to hope he uses Fire Blast to kill that, which is perfect, so that's her entire turn. And I think, I mean, the Elder Peacekeeper is a 3-3, which kind of holds up against that. I think what I'd actually rather do, again, we're just trying to hang steady here in the early game. Yeah, I traded my 3rd turn and a 3-drop to kill her 1st turn and a 1-drop, which is not great by any stretch of the imagination. But again, we're just trying to hold on the opening. I actually have a lot of my cheap stuff here, which is good and bad. It means I have stuff to play, but it also means that my late game needs to get top decked. Okay, well, my opponent actually has a bit of a slow start if you think about it. I mean, this is a bit slow. There's just a Mana Worm and a hero ability on turn 3. I'm fine with that. Sunwalker, that'll be nice later. I could make a recruit and protect him. Then the Mana Worm could attack into the Protector, and the hero ability would finish the Protector off. However, 2 things. Number 1, I'd have a recruit in play, and then it could kill the Mana Worm. Number 2, I mean, if she's spending 2 Fire Blast on turn 4, that is significantly worse than spending a Fire Blast on turn 2. She's sacrificing a lot more by using 2 of her mana on turn 4 than on turn 2. So we're actually, I think, going to do that. I mean, I could just, again, play this as a 3-3, threaten to kill the Mana Worm. I could also play this thing, which would kind of kill the Mana Worm, but I have to get hit twice, so it sort of blows. I mean, if I play it and then the raid later, that's fine. I don't know, my instincts tell me this is the right move. So we're just kind of populating the board here and just biding time until the Sunwalker can come online. Again, against mages, Sunwalker's not really that great because the Divine Shield gets popped and it's just a Chillwind Yeti, but it's a Chillwind Yeti that, like, I spent 2 more mana for, and my opponent has to spend 2 more mana to make it into a Chillwind Yeti, so, like, I guess it's okay. All things considered, I'd rather just have a Chillwind Yeti. Ah, there's the coin and Vengeful Mercenary. Oh my gosh, that's really, really good for me. Because I do, in fact, have the Aldor Peacekeeper here, so let's just not waste any time. Now, what my opponent could have that would make her pretty much win the game is a Silence. Because if she does have a Silence, then she can make this a 7. Not only will she pop this back and it'll be a 7/6, but it will also not have your minions cost 3 more downside. So it will actually be a 7/6 if she played on turn 4. That would be terrible. Now, I could have used Blessing of Wisdom to cycle, but as you can see, cards are not really my problem here. I got plenty of cards. The issue is just the board. So if my opponent has a Silence, she'll probably just win the game. I'd have to, I mean, even if I throw everything away. Okay, she doesn't have a Silence. Thank goodness. She's a Frostbolt. Fine, whatever. Whatever, that's fine. I don't even care. And Fire Blast. Okay, so my opponent just spent her whole turn clearing out my stuff. I'm alright with that. True Super Champion is nifty, but let's go ahead and, well, let's see. I could play the 1 Sunwalker or 2 creatures. Nah, let's just play the Sunwalker. So it's like a Chill Wind Yeti. I'm treating this as like a Chill Wind Yeti with Taunt. With Taunt. My stuff all dies to Flame Strike. Oh, man, it really would be nice to draw some of my late game beef. I've only drawn 1 card that costs 5 mana or more the full game. That is quite remarkable. There's a Fireball. That is most of her turn. And in fact, all of her turn. So she hasn't really gotten anywhere. My poor opponent. Okay, well, I don't want to populate the board now because it all die to Flame Strike. So let's hedge our bets a little bit. Let's just go ahead and kill this. Now, you might think, well, Boris, why are you killing a 1/1 with a True Silver Champion? Can't the True Silver Champion do so much more than that? Yes, it can. But, I don't want this thing getting silenced and hitting me for 7. I also, don't want it sticking around to, like, trade against a recruit or whatever. Alright, another Frostbolt. Oh, man, Water Elemental. Well, that survives against True Silver Champion, which is sad. Where is all my good stuff? Jesus Christ. Okay, well, the Bloodsteel Raider is good. It's a 6/3. I guess I can't complain. I got a 6/3 there. But again, I don't want to play too much stuff. It all just dies to Flame Strike. So we'll do this.
Reporting for duty.
There's absolutely no point in hitting this with the True Silver Champion because it's going to trade with my 6/3 anyway, most likely. And I don't really want to play this either. We're just going to pass the turn. That's what I hate about playing with mages. Against like literally any other class, I'd be playing out these creatures without hesitation. But against mage in particular, God. So Fireball, 2 Frostbolts, and a Polymorph have come online. She just has lots of spells. Well, I think my opponent's going to be in trouble if she doesn't actually play things, because I don't have any answers in this hand. You see this? I don't have any answers. The number of answers I have is 0. I could have put Blessing of Wisdom on this Water Elemental, but I actually would like to use it to draw cards. Crazy as that sounds. So even with True Silver Champion, I can't quite kill that Elemental unless I play the Wolf. Ha! Okay. Maybe we'll do that. So we're going to play the Wolf. Okay. I could have also played the Raid Leader. But what I like to do here is actually this. And then this. This survives Flame Strike with room to spare. So now we'll just go ahead and kill. Oh, Jesus! Oh, it hit me last turn. That's right. I can't attack it. Oops. That was silly. I totally forgot about that ability. Well, alright. We're going to maybe use this other recruit. Nope. Nope. This thing's just going to keep hitting me, and I'm going to keep getting frozen. Oh, God. For some reason, I thought it had killed one of my minions. Maybe I was thinking it should kill my minions, but absolutely, my opponent was absolutely right. Hitting me is the right move to stop me from using the weapon. Well, I've got a 7/7, so let's see what my opponent wants to say for herself. If I hit this, it'll go down to a 7/4, which means it'll die to a Flame Strike, which is really sad. My opponent's going to just kill the Wolf. Yeah, playing that was a mistake, because I couldn't kill the Water Elemental, and the only point of playing it was to try to kill the Water Elemental. Does she have an answer for my 7/7? Dark Iron Dwarf isn't quite going to get the job done, but she's just going to go ahead and kill the 7/7 with the Water Elemental. Interesting. I wouldn't do that. I would actually just attack me. I would just attack me and stop me from using my weapon. So that's a way of doing things. I'm not a big fan of that, though. I think my opponent had a better way. Because basically now I can actually kill this thing and then kill the Wolf. I can actually play Raid Leader, kill the Wolf with the 1/1, then kill the Dark Iron Dwarf. Huh. Yeah, we'll do that. That seems good.
The battle. Justice.
I think she would. I think she should have hit me with her. With her
For duty.
water elemental. I'm not gonna play a creature. I don't want to play this until I have Consecration in my hand, so I can play it and Consecration at the same time. It just dies to Flame Strike, and I'm pretty sure, given how many cards my opponent's been holding onto for a while, that she's got a Flame Strike. Okay, that's not the worst thing ever.
My shield.
That is actually getting pretty bad. Ugh. That sucks. She has the mana left over to kill the 1/1. And she's actually going to ignore my Raid Leader and try to bait me down. So she's established this board. Where are all my creatures? I have Stormwind Champion, Frost Elemental. I've got something or other in there. I've got, like, something. Jesus. Well, I might just lose because I've been playing too timidly around Flame Strike. Equality doesn't do me any good because this thing kills that no matter what. Dark Iron Dwarf buffs this but doesn't actually kill that anyway. I can play the Equality Dark Iron Dwarf just to not waste the opportunity. Well,
Let me think.
alright. I think we'll put a Blessing of Wisdom on this. And hit that. Draw a card, see what I get. Then I'll play this. And this. And we'll do this. So my opponent obviously knows it's Noble Sacrifice. She seems to be a pretty good player. Although I disagreed with one particular move. She seems to know what she's doing. So I think she'd know it's Noble Sacrifice and play around it correctly, but it's still kind of a tricky situation to play around Noble Sacrifice here. Probably have to flush it out with the Dragonling. And these guys do have 4 power, which is nice. If she has a Flame Strike, then, you know, goddamn everything. She seems not to have it. I think she would have played it really quickly. She certainly wouldn't be attacking my creatures if she had it, so that's good. There's the Noble Sacrifice.
Get down.
Dropping her to 3 health. Polymorph, because of course. Polymorph. Wow. Double Polymorph. That is something. So she gets to kill all my stuff, and she's got creatures on the board. So my opponent is out of cards, but I just drew Consecration. So the question is, do I just Consecrate and leave this thing alive, or do I play Equality and Consecration? There's a third option, which is to let her hit me for another 8 damage, and then see if she'll play another creature. No. You know what, let's just play it absolutely totally safe. I'm going to play Equality, Consecration. My opponent is at a comical maximum health here. I'm at 18. So it's a top deck war. We've drawn the same number of cards, and she has the advantage simply because she has more life, and she can kill this for 2 mana. And so basically she just starts first in the top deck war. Anytime you're in a top deck war, and you get to start first, you have an advantage. Now my saving grace might be that I have lots of big stuff in my deck, and I'm putting stuff onto the board. I guess her hero ability basically counters mine, except that if she needs to, she can use her hero ability to, like, finish off creatures. So her hero ability is actually probably better than mine, because she gets to choose whether it's merely countering mine or doing something else. Wow, Jesus H, monkey Christ. How much removal does this mage have? God damn it. Well, I guess I'm lucky I had the Consecration Equality to get me back into this, but, come on. Stop it with the Polymorphs and the Fireballs. Play your crappy creatures, please. Play your Secret Keeper. And your Wind Fury Hawk. And all that jazz. Let my good creatures come online. I still have a Stormwind Champion in here. I still have a Fen Creeper in here. Oh, you know what else I still... no, not Fen Creeper. Frost Elemental. You know what I still have in here? Justice. Mana Wraith. Really, that's the card I draw. Mana Wraith. Well, I'm going to play the Mana Wraith just to basically distract the Demolisher. Alright, so a Flame Strike would be good for my opponent here because it'd kill my stuff. But even actually, a Flame Strike wouldn't be the worst thing in the world because as long as I draw a good card after it, I'm kind of okay. she has. Is that seriously more removal? Wow, this mage could have killed me with the amount of fireballs she's played. Golly, Jesus, bonkers. I think I have another... No, did I only have one True Sliver champion in this deck? Yeah, I just have the one. Yeah, we're gonna have to play it. If this thing hits my thing, I'll be very sad. Okay, so it killed the thing that was dead anyway. That's fine. So I'm a little bit ahead here. Oh, where's my good stuff? Come on. Justice would be really good. Okay, she has a Fen Creeper protecting her Demolisher. That was an amazingly good top deck. She's pinging my creature, which is absolutely correct, because even if something happens to the Fen Creeper, she'll want this to be dead. Thank you! Jesus, finally! Alright, so if I keep this around and it gets hit by the Demolisher, that'll be sad. But there's really no point hitting the Fen Creeper, because this Lord of the Arena is going to kill it anyway. So we're just going to pass the turn and hope the Demolisher whiffs. It does, that's good. Lord of the Arena threatening to kill the Fen Creeper, which is good times. If she has a Flame Strike, I mean, mages will have a Flame Strike. If they ever see it in their draft, they will take it, so... It's amazing she hasn't had any Flame Strikes yet. If she has a Flame Strike now, she will probably win, because she'll get to Flame Strike, Hero ability, pick off the Lord of the Arena, and she's still got 2 creatures.
What to do? What to do?
But, Jesus, where's my Justice, Stormwind Champion, Frost Elemental? They're all at the bottom. Ugh. Alright. Come on. Come on, buddy. Give me... I think I have another Argent Protector. Yeah, I definitely have another Argent Protector. Even that would be great. Come on. There we go. Finally. Ugh. Feels so good. Okay, so this still dies to the Fen Creeper, so we'll do that. He dies to the Fairy Dragon, so we'll do that. And we'll do that. So, a Flame Strike now would leave this at 2 health. Hero ability wouldn't quite finish it off. She'd have to trade the Fairy Dragon for it. So, Flame Strike would just reset the board here. And she still has the edge because she has a life advantage. Blizzard, oh my god, in a way that's even more annoying than Flame Strike. I'd almost rather just see a freaking Flame Strike. Kill my shit and have done with it. And the Blizzard actually allows her to get extra damage on me. But the funny thing is that now, if she does have a Pyroblast in her deck, she gets to win, which is really distressing. But yeah, because I heal for 2, take 3, I'm at 11, Hero ability Pyroblast wins the game. So if she saw a Pyroblast in the deck, she probably took it. Although we have seen it is not always right to take Pyroblast. She probably took it, and she'll get to win the game right now with it. If I lose this game at this point, I'm going to be just really annoyed. I still have Justice in here. He's one of my last 7 cards. Oh, she's hitting my Stormwind Champion. Interesting. Where is Justice? Jesus! Okay. If I use the last tick of the True Silver Champion against the Squire, I don't lose health, but I don't gain it either. And there's really not much point in it, because basically I really have to kill this 4/4. I don't want to get hit anymore, so what I'm going to do is the following. I'm going to play the Flesh-Eating Ghoul, and I'm going to actually just trade. I'm going to kill, or I'm going to hit my opponent to gain life, so I now don't insta-lose to Pyroblast. Justice is still in here. God, he had to be in the bottom 6, of course. But the Flesh-Eating Ghoul should be good. My opponent has to, like, draw a card to deal with the Flesh-Eating Ghoul, then she has to draw more cards to actually win the game. And 6/3 will actually kill a lot of stuff. Really? Are you fucking kidding me? Well, I guess I'm glad that didn't come up earlier. Now, what's really funny is I actually can kill this. Because after I run my Recruit into it, it becomes 8/7, and this Flesh-Eating Ghoul goes Munch Munch on the Recruit, and it can kill the thing. Now, another option is to play Frost Elemental and then freeze this, but the problem with that is then if my opponent top decks Flame Strike, she can kill the Frost Elemental with Hero ability and Flame Strike. This stuff dies to Flame Strike as well, and then the Ghoul will just win the game. So, assuming that my opponent saw Flame Strike somewhere in the draft, I will go ahead and kill the Gruul right now. Frost Elemental and freeze her, and play a Recruit. So there's no one card that my opponent could draw that would win the game. I'm still waiting for Justice. He's starting to kind of annoy me. Flame Strike would reset everything. Any kind of removal would reset everything. She wouldn't do that if this was Flame Strike, so it's not Flame Strike. It might be some kind of inadequate removal, like a Frostbolt. I think she'd probably send a Frostbolt at this. It might be some... There we go. Alright, here we go. We get to listen to it. Ready? Isn't that the most amazing voice effect? And when you're a mage in a top deck war against a paladin and he flips justice, it must be very, very frustrating. So now I actually survive Flame Strike. I Stone Cold survive Flame Strike. Hero ability picks this off. This stays at 2 health. Is that a Cone of Cold? No, she's pointing it over there. It's not a Cone of Cold. Frostbolt. Oh my god, I guessed right. She did have a Frostbolt last turn and chose not to fling it. And does she have a Cone of Cold to pick him off? She seems not to. Stampeding Kodo. Interesting. Well, let's think about this. Replace Stampeding Kodo, Flame Strike. Hero ability would finish off the Kodo. This guy's at 2 health. I get to keep swinging. Nah, I don't think so. I think it's actually going to be more helpful to me in my hand. Basically, if I play it and she doesn't have Flame Strike 5, 8, 9, 10, I still don't win. So it's not helping me win any earlier. What is this? Ah, Farseer. Kodo does not quite kill that, unfortunately. Well, Argent Squire. Let's see, do I win 5? No. So we're going to go ahead and just keep it obvious here. We're going to kill the Ooze. I'm lucky. She played 2 Oozes. Wow, my True Silver Champion was in my hand a long time while I was getting frozen and stuff. Yeah, I got lucky there. I'm going to play the Kodo. Do I hit this thing? If I do, Flame Strike will clear the board out. I'm at a high enough health total. I can actually get hit by this 3-3 and not lose. I'll be at 16 health. Won't die to Pyro Blast. I'm actually going to hit. So now 5, 8, 9, 10. But the hero ability finishes this off. I guess if I had played this a couple of turns ago, she'd be at 8 health. I'd be threatening to win. Just going to freeze that, which is totally fair. Pop. Oh no. Interesting. She's working this down.
I'm almost out of cards.
Oh wow, this is actually really funny. I could actually lose. Let's think. 4. Can I actually lose to fatigue? No, she'll lose to fatigue first. Right. Well, let's go ahead and take it easy. We're just gonna go ahead and kill the creature. Swing, swing. Flame Strike clears the board out, but she's almost out of cards. She only has 1 card left. So basically, if she Flame Strikes now and clears out the board, she'll be in fatigue. And I don't think there's any way she can deal 19 damage to me. Oh my gosh. Well, this is, I think we're going to call this the value arena, because you are getting mega value for your entertainment dollar here, folks. Got some nice long games. We got to see Blessing of Wisdom on a Thrallmar Farseer. I mean, how often do you get to pull off that jank combo? And we're up to 5-1 before we even know it. God, this is going to be like one of the, I think this might be one of the longest videos I've ever posted. Well, that's not true. I might lose 2 games, then it'll be short by virtue of not having played just that many games. But if it goes to, like, let's say this ends up being a 9-win arena, this will be one of the longest videos ever, I think. These games have been going on forever. Dur the Shaman. I wonder if this is just someone who is a fan of Dur the poker player, or if they just wanted to have a dumb name. Okay, we're gonna actually mulligan that back. I don't really need it just yet, and it's a pretty weak creature. That's actually really great. So against a Shaman, the recruit that I make on turn 2 might actually live. Wouldn't that be a treat? That can't be beat. And then I can do a Divine Shield. And, you know, do stuff.
In the light's name.
Ah, Light Warden. Well, that's actually a pretty bad creature. I'm actually tempted to waste this. Just to try to kill that thing off. My gut tells me this is the right move. I don't know if it is, but I could have made a recruit. This could attack the recruit, go down to 1 health, and then I play the flesh-eating golem. I don't know. Well, that ends up being a little bit sad, but the recruit would have died just the same. I guess I'd rather lose the recruit than that guy, given the axe came out. So it didn't work out for me. That move did not work out for me. So now she can trade this Light Warden and a tick of this axe for the flesh-eating ghoul. Pretty much the only saving grace of this disaster cluster fuck of a situation is that my opponent's overloaded a bit. So he can't play a 3-mana card. But he does actually have the coin, so he actually could play a 3-mana card. This is actually not a good start at all. This is a terrible start. Well, my opponent's playing some junk, but the Stormforged Axe is allowing him to have a really good opening anyway. Absolutely the correct play is Light Warden... No, sorry. You first attack with the axe to get this down to 1 health, then you run the Light Warden into it to kill it off. My opponent is taking a point of damage unnecessarily here, but I've made this mistake myself, so I can't judge my opponent too harshly. As the old saying goes, judge not lest ye be judged. I don't actually think that that's the correct phrasing at all, but whatever, you get the point. So, all in all, I'd say the opening was a success, comically enough. After all is said and done, I have a tank of a 5-drop coming down to protect me, and my health total is pretty high. I got a weapon. As long as there are no incoming oozes, I can deal with almost any 4-drop. Pretty much anything but Senjin, Shield Master, Chillwind Yeti, and Violet Teacher. Knife Juggler is not going to cut it. My opponent's praying to the heavens for a Taunt Totem. He does not flip it. The Knife Juggler is going to die. And yeah, this is great. So, boink. This Lord of the Arena could have been a Wind Fury Harpy, and what's interesting is I actually wish it were. A Wind Fury Harpy would be better here, because the Fen Creeper's protecting it, and the Wind Fury deals 8 damage a turn instead of the 6 of the Lord, and it has the same health. But I think this being a Lord won me one of the games, so I guess I shouldn't complain too much. Alright, we're at same health. My opponent has a Totem versus a Fen Creeper. He has 6 cards and a weapon to my 4 cards. So I'd say my opponent's actually got maybe a bit of an edge here. This was a very good drop for my opponent as well. It plus the last tick of the axe will actually kill my Fen Creeper, which is sad. Not that it matters, because the Taunt Totem is blocking my path. Okay. He's actually going to hit this now. I don't actually recommend this move. Papa Boris does not endorse this play. I don't like to hit creatures with a weapon if I'm not killing them. The reason for that is that, I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe I'll heal this thing now or something ridiculous. Let's do that. And think. I can either play a couple of creatures. Let's say this guy plus a recruit, or this guy plus this guy. I'll hold on to this because I have I think I have another Argent Protector in this deck plus a Sunwalker, so this might actually still get to be a 6/6 for 3. So I could play 2 creatures, or I could play 2 creatures, or I could just play the 1 big creature. Let's actually play the 2. I'm not that at risk versus Lightning Storm, because it only has a 50-50 shot of killing this, and both of these survive, unless he flips a 1 and 3 spell power totem. So the odds of him having the totem and the Lightning Storm and all that jazz, I think I've been through this litany before, are pretty small. And my guys have pretty good health, so, you know, Forked Lightning isn't really a threat. Rockbiter Weapon or Lightning Bolt will kill this, but this guy lives. The main problem is this guy, I feel like he should be a 2/4. I'll never stop thinking that. Oh my god, that's terrible. Well, the good news is... Oh wow, he's actually going to do that? That is interesting. I'm not sure I agree with that play. That's a lot of health, buddy. I actually got burned out by this Doomhammer once before. My opponent's going to do that, which is smart. And heal up a bit, so I can't even finish it off. Ah, jeez, that sucks. Ah, I can. Yeah, we're going to do that. So my opponent has 6 cards plus this weapon. I have 3 cards, so I'm definitely lower on cards, but I got a Stormwind Champion in play. That's a pretty good card. And he's overloaded for 2. It's great. So he's only got 5 mana for the turn. He took 6 damage to kill my Fen Creeper. That was a bit, I would say, greedy. I would have rather... I mean, if I were him, I would have just traded that creature in and called it a day. Okay, my opponent is playing a Gurbashi Berserker. I don't have my Stampeding Coda, which is a tragedy of the highest caliber. Because, I would love to kill that thing. And I will kill it. I think it's really important to kill that thing before it gets off the ground. And actually, let's just play the taunt here. I'm very safe against Lightning Storm, which is pretty much the Shaman's only form of mass removal. I'm somewhat vulnerable to Hex, which seems to be... Oh my god, that's funny. Well, that is actually probably going to win my opponent the game now. Wow. Because I buffed the Stormwind Champion with the Dark Iron Dwarf, that made it die to Big Game Hunter, and now I can't kill the Big Game Hunter with my Mogushan Warden. Oh my god, I'm going to lose the game because of that. That stupid epic actually came into play. I still stand by my play of the Dark Iron Dwarf. The Gurubashi really needed to die before it started to enrage. My opponent got so excited to play this, he forgot to play the Knife Juggler first. He got the Taunt Totem because, of course, he got the Taunt Totem, and he's actually, it looks like he's gonna hit this thing twice. Well, I still have lots of good stuff in my deck. I mean, I can still come back from this, but I'm gonna have to get a little bit lucky. Peacekeeper. That is actually really good. So, I could Peacekeep this guy, which hits harder, or I could Peacekeep this guy, which has a useful ability. I am going to Peacekeep the guy who hits harder. Oh, wait, I can't even kill this. This thing doesn't even hit hard enough. Ugh. Alright, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do that, I guess. And we'll just play Lord of the Arena. Because whatever. It's pointless to hit the totem because it'll just heal itself, so I'm just gonna hit my opponent directly in the face. And you know what? I am gonna just play the Peacekeeper. I'm just gonna do that. Good option now, better than the best option later, and my opponent's low in life. That's my best chance of winning. Look at this, I'm actually threatening to win right now. So the odds of winning are very small, but they're non-zero. With what my opponent has on the board, he can't actually kill my lord. He's only got 4 damage. He'd have to flip a very lucky knife to do that. And besides, I have, with my other stuff, 7, 8 damage here. If he's using this Doom Hammer to hit my creatures, he's taking more damage. So this Doom Hammer is not at its finest when you are low on life. Now, my opponent, if he wanted, could have been at 17 health right here. Things would have turned out a little bit differently, because, you know, he would have, I guess it would have kept one more creature alive on the board, but, like, I think the 6 extra health would be really nice right now, and it would be something that he could have compensated for with his subsequent plays. So, how good is his play on turn 9? Well, I would say that a Lightning Storm has a very good chance of winning him the game, because it's likely to kill these creatures. Well, it's got a 50-50 chance for each one. It would deal 2 or 3 damage to this. Whichever one it does doesn't make any difference. Even if it only deals 2, the Knife Juggler can then finish it off. And then he's cleared my board and has a massive card. So I've only got 1 card here. So just the card disadvantage that I would be under if he managed to clear my board this turn would probably win him the game. He seems to have something. If he had nothing, he would just give up. So he's got to have something. But I might actually win the game just because he wasn't able to figure out the correct way to play his cards. Because he's running out of time now. I mean, it's literally going to be like very difficult for him to even like make the moves. Oh wow. Did he just leave the computer in a rage? I guess he did. I don't know. I mean, I don't know that he left his computer in a rage. But I win. Wow. All right. I don't think any of his cards were wiggling. I think he must have just like gotten up in frustration or something. Holy cow. Oh, we even completed a daily quest. Yay. Oh man, that's totally the title of this arena. This is the value of arena right here. This is definitely the bang for your buck arena. I don't remember the last single arena run that had this many like quality nail biter games. And the fact that I'm winning them all so far, except for that stupid first one, but even the first game was like a good game. But the fact that I'm winning all of them is, you know, icing on the cake. Dustfinger the Priest. Alright, well, yeah. I can't keep Justice, although I love him. I can't keep that either. This just seems goofy. We're going to keep the True Silver Champion because it takes care of business. And actually, this is a great... Oh, this is great stuff. Oh, man, this is really super. So if my opponent plays Northstrike Cleric, that would just make me cry in my sleep. And in my waking moments as well. Because basically, the Northstrike Cleric makes the Argent Squire unplayable. If he plays turn 1 Northstrike Cleric, you play Argent Squire, he attacks into it, pops Divine Shield, heals it, draws a card, and then it's a 1-3 versus your 1-1 Sounds Divine Shield. So, mercifully, no Northstrike Cleric. I don't want to coin out this Noble Sacrifice just yet. There's a chance my opponent's still going to play a Northstrike Cleric later. I don't want Northstrike Clerics running into Noble Sacrifices. Northstrike Cleric has that clutch 3 health, so it can then get healed and draw a card.
Is someone injured?
Oh man, so it's a turn 2 Northstrike Cleric. I mean, I'm unlucky that he has it at all, but I'm lucky that he played it on turn 2 at least. There's just no way at all for me to kill this right now. If there were any way under the sun, I totally would. This guy's kind of... Oh, wait a minute. Oh my god. I think I'm going to make the most pro play of my life.
Let me.
You ready for this, folks?
Not on my watch. That's not
What? It has to be a...
That's not a valid time.
Why does it have to be a friendly character? I was going to put Divine Shield on this so it wouldn't get damaged, and then my opponent couldn't heal it. Oh, what a load of baloney donkey nuts. Well, okay. Given that my opponent's going to attack, and given that... I could play like Noble Sacrifice, attack, and then if he attacks without healing, it'll die. But, I mean, who's going to do that? Let's see. I could play Noble Sacrifice, attack. He heals, then attacks. It's Noble Sacrifice. He's already healed on the turn. I think that's the right move. I'm going to do this. I'm going to attack. I think this basically minimizes the number of cards that my opponent gets to draw with the Northstrike Cleric. So he gets to draw 1 card and he also has to spend his entire third turn doing it, and I get some of that card advantage back when I play True Silver Champion with the coin on my next turn. So he's correctly playing around Noble Sacrifice, drawing a card. But the issue is, he might not even attack. That would be smart. Attacking might not be smart here because he knows it's Noble Sacrifice. So if he attacks, the Argent Squire will finish off the Northshire Cleric. Correct move is actually not to attack at all, which I'm also fine with, because then I coin out Silver Champion, killed this thing, I got a weapon, card advantage, full health, and he only drew the one card off the Northshire Cleric. So the card he drew is basically the card it replaces. Okay, so that's fine as well. I hope actually I get a good 4-drop, because I don't actually want to use True Silver Champion now. That would be like my entire turn. That would be a little sad. I don't get a card. I don't even have any 4-drops. Blah. What we're going to do is the following. We're just going to do this. Kill the Northshire Cleric. The reason I'm doing that is because it saves me the coin. So there's a chance with all these 6-drops. I mean, I have the 6-drop army here. This is why I was really frustrated in my game against the mage. I'm like, where are my 6-drops? Because I have a lot of them. Being able to play one of these on turn 5, which is just 2 turns from now, is pretty good. The Ironfur Grizzly is something I'm extremely happy to see, because basically had my opponent played like Ascension or a Chillwind Yeti, it would have sucked a little bit. But here I can just play True Silver Champion calmly, kill the bear, and that is my pro analysis of what just happened there. Okay, so now I've preserved my coin. I have a bevy of 6-drops to choose from. I've like got the menu here. I should open up a restaurant in like downtown Chicago, make it really ritzy, call it like this. I call it just like the 6-drop, and you like walk in and there's like a menu of food items, and you're like, nah, I think I'll have the Windfury Harpy. I am sorry, sir. We are currently out of the Windfury Harpy, but the chef will be making more of those shortly. Alright, my opponent Thought Stole, which is a bit scary. He Thought Stole one of my Bloodsail Raiders. That's not quite as good, buddy, when you're not holding a True Silver Champion. Now, I could coin out one of these guys, but actually a 6/6 for 5 mana? Yeah, it seems just as good, right? Is this really any better? No. This is a 6/5, this is a 6/6, this is a 4/5. Yeah, whatever. We'll do this. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and kill the creature. Wow, this opening was a smashing success, I'd say. Now, my opponent could of course have a Shadow Word Death. That was perhaps the advantage of playing the Sunwalker. It doesn't die to Shadow Words. But even a Shadow Word Death is half of his mana. I have literally like 3 more. I don't know why I said literally there. Like, in case you couldn't count the cards that are on the screen, I have literally 3 of them, which are a cost of 6 mana. Well, he's got the Shadow Word Death. That's fine. So now he only has a 3 mana play here, which appears to be nothing. Oh, wow. Well, alrighty then. Okay, this is pretty good. Fen Creeper is nice. We'll do the Sunwalker. It doesn't hit as hard as the Lord, but it can't be Shadow Worded. Now, I do of course have to think about Mind Control. Shouldn't be that big of a problem though. And any of these can like kill off any of the others, basically. So I'm not really that bothered. Plus, I drew Equality as sort of like a trump in case he does have Mind Control, and I need to like Desperado kill this thing. So yeah, I think we're doing really good. Mind Control, he has lots of cards. Probably one of them is a Mind Control, so I'm sure he has it. But I think we can do well regardless. What is he? He's got 8 cards. What is he like? What is he doing? Man, that True Silver Champion was so good. It killed a bear and a Bloodsail Raider. A Fiery War Axe would have done the same thing for 2 mana less, but I also have 4 extra health because of it.
I must consider.
I see. That was a good move. So I need to kill this. I was originally planning to play Frost Elemental just to ignore whatever he played, but I don't actually want to do that anymore. Okay, this is the time for the coin. We're going to Raid Leader, buff this up, allow it to pop the Divine Shield and kill that, swing-a-ling-ling, and here we're going to coin out a Fen Creeper. I'm now vulnerable to a Mind Control tech, but you know what, if my opponent plays it, he can just go suck a dog. A Mind Control is not as good, because I can take care of this fairly easily, and it would be his entire turn. No, no mind control. Fascinating. Power word show. That's pretty good. So 8 mana is a lot to chew through, and this is a taunter. Wow, 10 mana is a lot to chew through, and it is a taunter. Okay. Does he have a third power word shield? Inner fire. Aha. Oh, Kalidokali. Well, I wish I had a silence. I don't. I could play equality, but the problem with equality is that is that it deals with this thing, but it actually like makes all my stuff die to Holy Nova, which is a bit comical. Can I deal with this normally? I mean, I could throw away. Well, let's see. He played the Fen Creeper, the Power Word shields. Those drew cards, so those don't count. He played Fen Creeper and Inner Fire. So there's 2 eggs in this basket. I need a buff. I need a buff of some sort. I don't have a buff. Bowels. I could just play Consecration though. I could play Consecration, get this down to 8. 5 plus 2 is 7. I could give up both of my taunters. Man, with all these cards, he's got to have Holy Nova. So if I play Equality and I use my Ardent Squire to kill this off, I'm going to hit him for 11 damage, going down to 10. He's got to have a Holy Nova. But that would be 5 mana out of 9, then everything dies. Let's say I play Lord of the Arena. No, I don't want to give him a taunt to steal. Aha, I'll play Frost Elemental, freeze him. If he has no good mind control targets. If he plays Holy Nova, this survives, and he only has 4 mana left. Alright, that's the plan. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. So, boink. Swing, swing, swing. I don't want this getting mind controlled. Or do I? Actually, I don't care if this gets mind controlled. Aha, this hits harder. I want to play this thing. Okay, so what I have to figure is an incoming Holy Nova, and it all depends on what does my opponent have for the remaining 4 mana. I don't like that sound. I mean, he can't beat me, so I don't know why he's saying well played unless he thinks he's going to lose. I'll just say thanks. Shadow Word Pain, that's not what I was... So no Holy Nova! Oh my god, he actually does not have a Holy Nova on all these cards. Poor Priest. That is a shame. I have the Taunt Army. That's no good. Northshire Cleric, that... He has 2 of them. He did not have one on turn 1. Man, I'm lucky he didn't have it on turn 1, because then it would have been a totally different game. But a completely different game if he had it on turn 1. Because I couldn't have played my Urgent Squire then.
Get behind.
That's not really going to change anything. Yeah, I win. So we just consecrate. Kill that thing. And we swing. Okay, I think I got a little bit lucky against that priest. He had neither Mind Control nor Holy Nova with a fistful of cards, which is definitely a thing that is not likely. We're coming around midnight. Yeah, this is one of the longest arenas ever. Woo! But we made it to 7 wins as Paladin. I'm very happy about that. For a few reasons. Number 1, winning is good. Number 2, I haven't been doing that well lately. I've been doing okay. I've been hitting 7 about 50% of the time in the last couple of days, which is lower than the close to 60% of the time I used to hit 7. Number 3, the last run with Paladin was an embarrassment, so I'm glad to be doing well with Paladin. And number 4, I lost the first game of this arena, so it's nice to lose the first game and then show that the world that you've still got the chops. You can still make it. Okay, who are we up against here? Garrosh the Warrior. Duke Lion? Alright, that's fine. I wonder if he's related to Northern Lion. Oh, wow. Wow, what a hand. What a hand. I'm going to keep this hand. So this will probably actually be played on turn 2. Probably. It might not. I might play a Recruit, forego the extra power and health, and see if I can play the Bloodsail Raider after the True Silver Champion. But remember, folks, a good choice now is better than the best choice later. A 2-3 on turn 2 is great, because it'll either trade or kill any other 2-drop. So it really helps you survive a lot. Of course, I'm against a warrior, so he might have a Fiery War Axe waiting for me on turn 2, as is not improbable. But this thing is also nice. Let's say my opponent plays a 3-3. I can play this on turn 3, drop the 3-3 down to a 1-3, and try to own it. And I think that's one of the things I didn't realize for a while with the Altar of Peacekeeper is, you know, you think of it as like being a good out against, you know, the late game stuff that your opponents might play, like the Giants and whatnot. And it is, definitely, but I think it's also good in the early game. And when you have a deck like this one, which has so many expensive cards, it's really nice to just, you know, spend your resources early on and get those beats on. Ah, I wish I'd had this. If I'd mulliganed even 1 card, I would have had this on turn 1. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this, and the reason I'm playing it is that it survives against Fiery War Axe. And it just seems likely that a warrior would have Fiery War Axe. I mean, I'm sure like a supercomputer somewhere could do the math. But basically, if you figure that if any warrior sees Fiery War Axe, he'll pretty much take it over anything else in that pack. And then if he has it, he will play it on turn 2. So like warriors will always have in their decks pretty much as many Fiery War Axes as they saw in the draft. So it's really, and with the mulligan rules being so generous in Hearthstone as they are, it's like actually kind of likely that they will get, you know, a Fiery War Axe to play. Oh man, he's got nothing on turn 2. That is terrific. Well, I was going to make a recruit. Let's go ahead and drop this guy down.
I fight.
We'll see if my opponent has the Fiery War Axe and was slow rolling it. A turn 3 Fiery War Axe is fine. He's not doing anything else. It would actually be a little sad if he did play Fiery War Axe here. Oh, this is the card he just drew. Oh my god, did he just draw Fiery War Axe, that would be sad. But anyway, if he plays Fiery War Axe now, it's actually kind of sad next turn, because I don't want to play this, but I also don't want to just have my weapon sitting there. I'd rather put a creature on the board. Paladin is actually kind of nice against Warrior. I don't know if I'd say that Paladin is like a good matchup against Warrior, like in general, but it is nice that your recruits put stuff on the board, and the Warrior doesn't want to waste his weapons against it. Well, what I'd want my opponent to do is just play a creature. That would be ideal. A creature that, of course, dies to True Silver Champion. Let me correct that. Actually, even like a Chillwind Yeti, I'd be totally fine with it. Pop Divine Shield, True Silver Champion, finish it off. Spring for 4. Seems good. He's thinking a lot. Well, if he had a Fiery War Axe, I cannot imagine he'd think this much. That would be very improbable. I see him hovering over his stuff, so he's still thinking about stuff. Maybe he has Fiery War Axe and like a good creature, so he's wondering whether to play the creature and develop board presence or to play the Fiery War Axe and bite back mine. Personally, I would play the Fiery War Axe under that circumstance. Here comes the coin and Spellbreaker. He's gonna Spellbreak that. Oh, all right, fair enough. Well, it stops me from using, you know, any kind of combos or anything. Let's think. I could Peacekeeper this, use my... No, you know what? Let's just do this. This seems like a pretty straightforward choice. So my opponent maybe has a really late game hand. That was a very interesting move. He spent a coin to silence this, and it only deals 4 damage. Like it's only a 4/3 for 3, except worse most of the time. And a 4/3 for 3 is like right on par for what a 3-mana creature should be if Blizzard designed their cards the way that I think they should design them. Anyway, so silencing this means that he's really trying to like hold the fort maybe until he gets better stuff. He didn't have anything on turn 1. He armored on turn 2. On turn 3, he had no 3-mana plays that he was happy with. He actually coined out the Spellbreaker. All right, Twilight Drake. It's a big thing for sure. I can't really kill it. Let's see. I could play this thing. Oh, I can actually play this and Elder Peacekeeper. Oh, that's great. So we'll do this to get a 6/3. We'll go ahead and do this. Wait. Let me think. If I do this, this hits for 3, this hits for 2, that's 5. Actually, if I do the Raid Leader, I could just throw this away and finish it off with a True Silver Champion. So this allows me to take less damage and puts a 3/3 on the board. My instincts tell me this is the right move. So the Elder Peacekeeper, like I said, you know, it's good to use it liberally, but I think that it's also good to hang on to it if you have a reasonable other play to make. I mean, if it's like turn 3 and your choice is like hero ability or this and get value, then do that. But if it's like turn 5 and you got other things you can do, you know, consider the other option. So I throw away my 2/3, which isn't like a super valuable card, and I keep a 7/3 around. Warrior's not the best at killing a 7/3. I mean, Slam Execute, Slam Whirlwind. Those are Warrior spells. I just don't like their spells. Their spells are so wacky and like weird. He could like cleave and enrage. It's just weird stuff. Anyway, I'd say that I won the opening hands down, and I have the advantage. He's got 7 cards to my 6, which is pretty good, but I mean, the board presence I have is quite astounding, especially considering it's only turn 5. For this, one of which is a 7-power creature, to be on the board on turn 5 is very, very bad news for my opponent. Plus, I have very good cards. I have, like, really, really good cards. This is a good card. Okay. Okay, maybe, I know I've talked trash about the Lord of the Arena before, and I'm not the biggest fan of this guy, but It's a good card under the circumstances, because it's just, even though I don't think it has a lot of philosophical value, it's just got a lot of power on the one card, so I can do a lot of good stuff. Ah, Tazdingo is a very good play here. I have to think very carefully about this. I could choose over champion, attack it, to pop Divine Shield. It's one option. I could, of course, just throw in my Bloodsail Raider. I don't really like that plan too much. I could play a Frostwolf Warlord, but then I am basically committed to throwing away the Raider. I could just play the Lord of the Arena. I mean, I could just trade the Bloodsail Raider. I could just say, well, this is a 2-drop for a 4-drop, and that's fine by me. I could also play Peacekeeper. Unfortunately, I'd really like to play Peacekeeper and Truce over Champion, but I can't. Just be Peacekeeper and a Recruit. Then it would be a 1/5, and then I could play the Bloodsail Raider. Kill it. Everything would be at 2 health or 3 health, which is fine against warriors, actually. What do my instincts tell me, I wonder? I think this is a good play. We'll see. I might regret it. The thing is, basically, let's say my opponent for 6 mana plays a giant creature. Let's say. I am going to get a 9/9. I mean, that's better than the Epic Giants. It can be silenced down to a 4/4. So in that sense, it is worse than the Epic Giants, because the Epic Giants can't be silenced. They're still 8/8s no matter what. But I mean, barring silence, it's a 9/9. That's really good. Now, my opponent could have a Brawl. That would kill 4 of my creatures, I guess. But it's a bit random. Like, it might leave this guy around, or this guy. So yeah, if it like leaves this around, it'd be a 3/3. It'd be his whole turn. Then this is only a 6/6, but then I could just play a 6/5. Yeah, a Brawl would actually catch my opponent right back up. That is a fact. Maybe I should respect the possibility of Brawl. So generally, you don't want to play around epics unless you can afford to, and then it's like, you might as well. Like, why not play around it? If you're not losing anything, why even give your opponent an inch? So maybe I won't play the Frostwolf Warlord. We'll see what my opponent does. I mean, if he has the Brawl, he'd clearly play it here. 5 mana, kill 4 creatures at random is pretty good. I'd only have a 1 in 5 chance of keeping a really valuable creatures. Then I'd have a 1 in 5 chance of keeping a 3/3, which is also fine. If I kept anything else, it would suck. I could keep a 1/1 with 1 Divine Shield, or just a 1/1 or a 2/2 with buff, but there's nothing else on the board. So a Brawl would actually maybe let my opponent win the game here. No, he's just got that guy. Okay. He's actually making a very interesting choice there, killing the raid leader. Ah, it's because he has removal for my... What? What? Okay. I see. Well, that was an interesting move, to be sure. I don't know if I could call it a good one. Can I win? Let me just check if I can win. 6, 9, 10, 14. He's down to 8. He can heal up. Yeah, I don't think that's good. Alright. This guy seems really good right now. So we'll do this. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do this. I will take a moment to kill this thing. Play a very giant Frostwolf Warlord and swing for 6. So now there's actually 2 good creatures that could survive. An 8/8 and a 6/2 with Divine Shield in case of Brawl. A 3/1 wouldn't even be the worst thing in the world. It's just the 2/5 chances of keeping an Argent Protector or a 1/1 that would kind of suck. And again, let my opponent possibly win the game. But if he doesn't have that 1 epic, or if he drew that 1 epic, but it's not in the top third of his deck, he's actually drawn not many cards, nor have I really, then he's going to be in some serious trouble here. God, Truce over Champion is so good. I wonder if Truce over Champion has a kind of like a Fiery War Axe status, where if you're a Paladin and don't get it, you're in serious trouble. I mean, I didn't see any Hammer of Wraths, but all things considered, I'd rather not see any Hammer of Wraths than not see any Truce over Champions. They're both card advantage, because Hammer of Wrath kills something and draws you a card. So your opponent goes down a card, but you don't. Truce over Champion is also card advantage, because it's 1 card, and it can take out 2 of your opponent's cards. But Truce over Champion hits harder, and it kills 2 creatures. I'd rather have card advantage in the form of 2 of my opponent's creatures die, than card advantage in the form of 1 creature dies and I keep my card. My opponent concedes after thinking about it for a while. I don't begrudge him the thoughts. You never know, if you think about it hard enough, you might see a way out. But that was actually one of the most crushing wins I've had in this arena. Maybe even the most crushing. I won't generalize though and say that at 7 wins I like quote unquote often see a really easy opponent. I've definitely had it where like at 8 wins I'll see like the easiest opponent of the whole arena. Like there was one run, it was a while back, I can't remember the details, but I was like honestly shocked by how many plays the opponent was making at 8 wins. But in general, I mean, you've seen me, lose at 7 wins often enough. Actually, hang on. I'm going to keep this. The reason is my deck's very expensive. I want to have a 3/3 for 3 mana on turn 3. I just want to have it. I think I'm desperate enough to get to the end game that I will make such shenanigans happen. All right, my opponent has nothing on turn 1. I draw my other 2 silver champion, which is a little bit bad actually, because it's gonna take a while for me to actually be able to use them both up. Ah, Mana Wraith, perfect. That is actually really, really perfect. So my opponent cannot just kill it with hero ability. She'd have to use an actual spell, which is good. And if she kills it, then I get to play my creatures for free. If she doesn't kill it, she's stuck for what to play. Ah, Swamp Ooze. Well, I'm happy to see that, although, oh boy, if my opponent's playing a Swamp Ooze against a Paladin, you've got to figure, man, you've really got to figure she's got another one, right? I mean, why would you play a Swamp Ooze against a Paladin when you're coming up against Coin True Silver Champion? Harg. Well, we're going to do it. We're going to play Coin True Silver Champion. I could have played Coin Flesh Eating Ghoul and traded and made this, well, I could have Coin Flesh Eating Ghoul, traded, made this 4/3, but the problem is the Panda would just kill it anyway. So let's put the weapon in the hand. Let's kill these things both off. Again, our mission in this arena is just to survive into the mid-game. Next turn is awkward, unfortunately. We have nothing to do for 4 mana, and we spent the coin. I could, of course, kill whatever she plays and like replay the champion, but I'm not a big fan of that. We'll probably just play a Flesh-Eating Ghoul. Maybe my opponent doesn't have an Ooze in her hand. Maybe she knows she has more in her deck, and that's why she was willing to play it out.
What to do?
My shield.
Wow, wasting a Defender of Argus? What is going on? I'm trying to figure out under what circumstances would that be the right move. Well, I'm actually going to play this guy. And I'm going to kill the Defender of Argus. So you might wonder, Boris, why aren't you playing your Flesh-Eating Ghoul? It'll become a 3/3. Well, the reason is this actually does more damage at the moment. It does 4 damage per turn to the 2/3. The 3 damage the Flesh-Eating Ghoul would have done had I played it there. And if I top deck a Blessing of Wisdom, it'll actually be crazy good. Well, all I really needed was for 1 or fewer things to, well, the RNG gods helped me. Wow, that was actually 1 in 8 odds that none of the missiles would hit the Farseer. So I luck out a little bit. This guy gets to trade against the Flesh-Eating Ghoul. Or the Mad Bomber. Okay, so I have a couple of... Oh my god, I got it! I got the combo. That's so great. Well, I played for that, and I actually got it. So we're going to draw a card. So that was a 1 mana, draw 2 cards. Now, I could keep it around and then basically force my opponent to have to use 2 mana on turn 6 to kill it, which is a possible interesting play. Or I could just maybe more straightforwardly play Flesh-Eating Ghoul and trade these 2 creatures and have this be a 4/3. Yeah, we'll do that. That seems good enough. So normally you draw cards first, but here I need to play the Flesh-Eating Ghoul first so it grows. And the equality wasn't going to matter anyway. Okay. Well, I'd say that I won the opening. I have a creature on the board. My opponent has 4 cards to my 6. Wow, twice in one arena I actually got to live that dream. That is bonkers. Okay, well, we have a couple of options here, as I so often say. One option is to use the True Silver Champion, whack the Archmage, and finish it off with the Ghoul. Another option is to play Equality and just trade the Ghoul for the Archmage. The third option is to just say whatever, play Fen Creeper, call it a day. I don't want, oh man, I don't like letting this stick around though against mages. The issue is basically the True Silver Champion plan, all it does is give me enough mana to play a 1/1, which will die to the hero ability. So the allure of the Fen Creeper play is that I get to put a creature on the board and kind of have a board presence. So realistically, what would spell damage do for my opponent? Fireball kills this already. Flame Strike was going to kill this already. It will deal an extra point of damage to this, which doesn't matter, because regardless, if she flame struck, she would have attacked afterwards to finish it off.
Move quickly.
Yeah, I think this is the right move. My opponent seems not to have removal. I bet if she had removal, she would have used it on the flesh-eating ghoul. So I think she doesn't have removal right now, and so I'm going to take the risk. I'm going to put a creature on the board rather than leave the board empty and just wait for her to play stuff. I think if my guess is correct, that my opponent doesn't have removal, then I made the right decision. Given that that happened, I guess I made the wrong decision. Ah, that's a very elegant way of dealing with the sheep. So she gets to put a creature on the board. Oh my god, that's almost perfect. So basically, I really want to play the Kodo to kill that thing and the Wolf Rider to kill this thing, but I don't have enough mana for that. I could use the True Silver Champion. Ah, this is good. I'm going to use the True Silver Champion to kill this thing, and the Wolf Rider to kill that thing. That was my whole turn. So I'm at 21 health to 23. That's a lot of health considering my opponent has only 3 cards, and I don't have the greatest cards, unfortunately. This guy's not so good. I can always make a recruit, so he's a 5/5 for 5, I guess. But the Stormwind Champion's not ideal at the moment. And the fact that I don't already have a recruit on the board makes it hard for me to deal with this Yeti, who has a very annoying 5 health. Well, the Cobra, that will get True Silver championed, for sure. Oh, wait. Nope. I think the Kodo's good for that. Yeah, we'll do the Kodo. Hold on to the True Silver Champion. Do I play a 3/3? It just dies to the Yeti? It seems kind of silly. This also dies. Yeah, we'll just make a recruit, I guess.
Reporting for duty.
Well, my opponent might be able to race me down. I mean, it's a long shot, but it's possible that she could actually end up racing me down here. We'll see how good her plays are. Gurabashi. So I use the Kodo. You know, I almost got to live the dream myself. But I played the Kodo to kill that thing instead of using the weapon. And for that, I suffer. She's going to kill off my Kodo, which is smart. Noble sacrifice. So I could play the Wolf, buff this, kill the Yeti. I could play the Wolf, hero ability, Frost Wolf Warlord. It's an 8/8, kills the Gurabashi, kills the Yeti with the recruit. I can play Equality and also kill the Yeti and the Gurabashi with my weapon that way, which is an interesting possibility. But I like the idea of putting onto the board a Frost Wolf Warlord, which is also large. Doop, buddy doop. So there's a Gurabashi Berserker here, and he can kill my wolf and get enraged, but that's fine. I think. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should have. Jeez, because then my warlord takes a bunch of damage killing it. Nuts. I shouldn't have done that. I should have just used Equality and killed all the things. Well, my opponent's gonna actually have a fireball for my warlord. That's fine. I guess it's better than a fireball for my face. And this guy actually gets to live, which is nice. Okay, Argent Protector. Well, I could put a Divine Shield on this, suck it up with the Blood Knight, deal 1 damage, and then use that to finish this off the Gurabashi. I could also play Equality and finish off the Gurabashi that way. I actually like this plan, though. I'm going to do this. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to swoop, suck it up. And I'm going to play Noble Sacrifice. Make a recruit. Don't forget to attack with your stuff. And we're going to pass the turn. I could have killed this Gurabashi Berserker, but the Noble Sacrifice holds it at bay. I have Equality later on to kill it if I need to kill it. My opponent's going to enrage it. That's actually, I think, a bad move. Because you know there's a Noble Sacrifice here. You just know that's what it is. So, I mean, unless my opponent has like a... I mean, what could my opponent have? She'd need like a Blizzard or something. Because otherwise, if these 1/1s are allowed to attack, they'll just kill the Gurabashi. She doesn't have it. She has a Pyroblast. Wow! Well, that's fortunate for me. It's very, very fortunate. So I'm actually doing the obnoxious thing that I've seen a lot of other people do against me, which is I am holding on to this weapon, basically. Can I win? Can I win? Okay. My opponent quits in frustration. Wow! Alright! 9 wins as Paladin. This is like the ultimate value arena. You know, I should start a playlist of like my favorite arenas, I think. Yeah, I should start a greatest hits playlist. You know what? I should have been doing that the whole time. Because I've posted so many dang arenas now. I've posted like, Jesus, how many arenas have I posted? I posted a lot. I mean, there's 9 classes. I'm up to like somewhere between 6 and 10 arenas per class. It's like somewhere between 54 and 90 arenas. It's going to be a bitch to look through them all and figure out what my favorites are. But yeah, this will definitely go favorites list because this was a great arena. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and or subscribe. I mean, man, if any of my arenas make you like and subscribe, I think it would have to be this one. This one was said just so many good games. And if you want to stick around for Papa Boris's Happy Fun Time bonus hour because you just don't want this to ever end, then please stick around. Let's go ahead and take a look at our prizes. Starting off, we get 170 gold and 2 packs. I'll take the dust. I'm actually very happy with dust because of the need to fill out my collection, and I'm also happy with the extra pack. Worst case scenario is an extra 40 dust, but hopefully it'll be a little bit better than that. Angry chicken. That might have been all duplicates. Got an epic. Brawl. Hey, nice. And 2 rares. That's great. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look. See? Got a bunch of duplicate commons and a duplicate rare. But the epic stuck. Do I have 2 brawls? No, that was my first one. Alright. Actually, let me... There we go. What do I have in the expert set that is new? I haven't looked in a while. Misdirection is a new rare, and oh my gosh, I completed my set of gladiator longbows. That's great. Ice barrier is a new common, and I completed my set of these. Good. Dust devil. I don't think that's ever going into any deck. Although who knows? That could be another entry for a Make It Work series, a deck where Dust devil doesn't suck. Oh hey, I have a golden siphon soul. Let's go ahead and disenchant that. Don't need these gold cards. They really don't have much value to me. Then they take up space when I'm flipping through the pages. I seriously have a golden angry chicken? Yes, I was waiting on a second angry chicken so that I could disenchant the golden one. Now that we have seen the angry chicken arrive, let's go ahead and get rid of the gold one. Shoop. And that's all the new cards. So let's take a sneak peek at our next arena. We are going to play Hunter, Shaman, or Warlock. Now, normally at this time of night, if I had a bad arena, I would stay up late to play again. But now I'm going to go and sleep like a babe. I will be easy of heart and restful of spirit because that was a fantastic arena, one of the best I've ever had. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and or subscribe. And as sad as it is to say goodbye, I shall say goodbye. I bid you farewell, and I will see you next time. Till then.